Hello everyone. A few months ago, I bought a new CD player that can also play SACDs, and I shared my impressions about it on my past video. After that, I received comments asking about what are the best SACDs on my collection. So I would like to list down the 10 SACDs on my collection that to me are the best in music and sonics. SACDs are still a small and niche market which are being kept alive by some audiophiles and collectors seeking the best possible audio quality. I really like the detailed sound that SACDs produce, that's why I continue collecting it. So without further ado, here's the 10 SACDs I would recommend to people who want to try this physical media or people who don't have them in their collection yet. The first is Unplugged by Eric Clapton. This is the 1992 live album by Eric Clapton recorded in England in front of an audience for the MTV Unplugged television series. This is one of those popular demo discs in mid-2000s. The SACD I have is mastered by Mobile Fidelity Sound and released in 2021. Most audiophiles are familiar with this company who specializes in faithful reproductions of original master tapes. The sound on this MFSL CD is fantastic. Very clear, particularly the guitar sound. The sound of guitar strings have natural snap and extension. Even the clapping on the background is realistic. I still wish MFSL will put their releases in a jewel case. Next is T for Tillerman by Cat Stevens. This album was originally released in 1970 and the SACD version I have was released by Analog Productions in 2020 and mastered by George Marino at Sterling Sound. Analog Productions specializes in manufacture and distribution of reissues of jazz, rock, folk, and classical music in LP, CDs, and SACDs. Cat Stevens was accompanied only by a three-piece band as he sings songs with introspective lyrics. The guitar sound is crisp on a black background and Cat Stevens' emotion comes through the speakers. It's no surprise that this album has been remastered and released so many times and audiophiles likes discussing which one is the best version. Next is The Raven by Rebecca Pidgeon. This is the recording debut of actress and singer-songwriter Rebecca Pidgeon, originally released in 1994. The SACD I have was released by Chesky Records in 2016. The Raven became an audiophile classic because of the combination of Pidgeon's crystalline voice and Chesky's high-fidelity recording techniques. Rebecca's lovely and delicate voice is very nicely captured in a wide soundstage. This studio recording has this light and airy music that is perfectly suited for Chesky's high-resolution technology production technique. Rebecca would go on to release 3 more albums with Chesky, but it was The Raven that made her popular in the audiophile community. Next is the legendary Eva Taylor live at the Pawnshop. This record features the performance of 81-year-old at that time, Eva Taylor, who was among jazz giants 5 decades earlier. The SACD I have is an SACD released in 2007 by Opus 3 label and the record won the Album of the Year on Hi-Fi Plus magazine in 2007. The music was taped in 1976 at a small jazz and blues club in Stockholm called Stampen, or the Pawnshop as it's more popularly known. What makes this such a great sounding disc is the combination of fabulous acoustic instrumentation as only the voice is amplified, a great venue, and real You Are There ambience. Next is Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. This 9th studio album by the legendary band Pink Floyd was released on 1975. The SACD version I have was released in 2016 by Analog Productions and mastered by Pink Floyd's producer and engineer James Guthrie from the original Analog master tapes. This was Pink Floyd's follow-up to The Dark Side of the Moon, which established them as the leading band of progressive rock. A lot of audiophiles loves these 2 albums, The Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here, and always try to compare them. This SACD was able to capture Pink Floyd's great use of studio effects and synthesizers. Next is Aja by Steely Dan. This album by Steely Dan was originally released in 1977 and is a huge favorite among audiophiles. The SACD version I have was released by Analog Productions in 2024 and mastered by Bernie Grundman at A&M Studios in Hollywood. Steely Dan have mastered integrating jazz with pop, R&B, and funk with a few splashes of rock in creating sophisticated sound. It has appeared on many greatest albums lists, with both critics and audiophiles appreciating the album's high production quality. This album was also frequently used in the late 70s to early 80s by electronic shops to demonstrate their high-end audio systems. Next is Elephant by the White Stripes. This is the fourth album by the White Stripes and released in 2003. The CD I have is an SACD released by Third Man Records in 2023, remastered from the original analog tapes. Jack White cultivated a minimalist style and is back to the basic approach extended to recording this album. For an album that was mainly recorded in a small London studio, Elephant packs a big studio sound, especially when you turn up the volume on your amp. You will be impressed by the wide range of its soundstage and the hard-hitting arrangements and instrumentation. This album has become a modern-day rock classic and a demo-worthy recording. Next is The Nightfly by Donald Fagen. This is the debut solo studio album by Donald Fagen, best known for his work in the group Steely Dan, released in 1982. The SACD I have was released by Warner Records in 2002. This is one of the first digitally recorded albums. Upon its release, The Nightfly instantly garnered a reputation as an audiophile album, becoming a popular demonstration record in hi-fi stores across the globe. Sony was so impressed with the Nightfly's sound quality that it asked for permission to make it one of the first albums released on CD so that it could be used to demonstrate the then new format at audio trade shows. Next is Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. This is the 8th studio album by Pink Floyd, originally released in 1973, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of this album. The SACD I have was a 30th anniversary release by EMI Records in 2003, 5.1 and stereo mastering by Doug Sachs and James Guthrie. I had this SACD for almost 20 years now, but it never fails to amaze me every time I listen to it. This album firmly established Pink Floyd as one of the most innovative bands in rock history. It has received widespread critical acclaim and is often featured in publication listings of the greatest albums of all time. And last but not the least is Abraxas by Santana. This is the second studio album by another legendary band, Latin rock band Santana, released in 1970. The SACD I have was released by Sony Music Japan in 2020 and mastered by Mitsuyasu Abe at Sony Music Studios in Tokyo. The stereo mix is remarkable because it has excellent dynamics and tonal range. I can still appreciate it even listening at low volume. Bass is not too powerful and just right. The guitar solos are sparkling but never too bright. Abraxas is undoubtedly Santana's best-known early album. I love the music on this album, and this disc helps me appreciate it more. And that's the 10 best SACDs in my collection. I think most audiophiles would love the SACDs on this list. I know everyone have their own taste in music, but I hope you'll find some that will give you a nice listening experience. I know some of these SACDs might be available only on the second-hand market, but I think most of them is available on eBay and Amazon. Please let me know in the comments your favorite SACDs or albums that you will recommend to fellow audiophiles. Thanks for watching and happy listening.